Hi, YouTube. I'm Alex Worthington.
And I'm Lance Graham.
And this is The Bull Show.
On behalf of Berserk Darts and everybody at The Bull Show, we want to thank you for watching Episode 3 of The Bull Show. This is the City Wars 2019 special. City Wars is going to be this year, September 28th.
At Century Bowl in Waterford.
Remember, we're going to be there live streaming the whole event, so make sure you stop by. If you want, we can do an interview with you, get you on the live stream. It's going to be a great time. Come up and see us. Now we're going to be talking with Willy from the Michigan Dartsmens Club. Willy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Nice to be here.
Willy is one of our founding fathers of Michigan Dartsmens Club. Please explain to everybody what the Michigan Dartsmens Club is.
So the Michigan Dartsmens Club, we started 2014. It started a lot different than it is now. It kind of started just with a group of guys getting together once a month, playing $5 games and, playing at a high level, betting on yourself. It was a real loose concept. I kind of wanted to keep it that way. But it kind of evolved as things do with the inclusion of John Upham. He came in and brought the concept of doing actual tournaments, and we have never turned back since then. I believe that you were there on our first meetup, Alex. I think it was your birthday in 2014. And that was, that was a fun night. I barely made it home. Here I am to bring to you the Michigan Dartsmens Club.
Yeah. Okay, Willy, you're the host of City Wars, along with a few other guys. How did you really come into really wanting to get 10 guys to play together on a team?
So I don't remember this very well because I was drinking a lot at the time, but I guess I was at Diamond Hall in Grand Rapids talking to a guy named Nick Rogalski, and he used to play darts in Texas, and he had told us about a concept of having cities being represented by like a certain number of people. And I actually forgot all of this, and I thought that the idea was my own, but I guess I'm not that original. So I got the concept, and the first year we got 7 teams, just promoted the shit out of it. Can I say that? Is that Can you swear?
It's fine. They can say that on CBS, so we'll allow that here.
We'll allow it.
Okay, all right. So I promoted the shit out of it, and we got 7 teams the first year, and it's history since then, man. I mean, it's just it's really taken off. I think that at that time, Michigan needed a fresh point of view, because I think that darts in Michigan had gotten a little bit stale, and the same people were doing the same things. And we got a really good response right away, and I'm really happy for it. But it kind of locks me into doing it every year now, and it's become a lot more complicated and a lot more work every year. But it's worth it. I love Michigan darts, and that's what it's all about. And I don't know that there's another tournament like it anywhere. So just the amount of drama that is produced by some of the matches is incredible. I mean, in any sporting event, I have not been that excited over, just darts for a long time. So I really enjoy doing it. I hope that everybody does too.
Absolutely. Hey, can you explain to us a little bit what the format for City Wars is?
So City War format, I think I feel like I've answered this a lot, so I should be good at it. So there's 10-man teams, right? And the 10-man teams, they represent, ideally it was going to be a city in Michigan. But organizing it the first year, I realized that you couldn't get, like, some of the cities could not get 10 people on the team. So I expanded the radius to 60 miles, which has been like pretty controversial since the beginning. But it just allowed people who live in small cities who do not play darts a lot, they don't have a big dart scene, to be able to participate in this. Also, it allows stacked teams too. I mean, I'm not stupid about that. But so you have 10 guys who live within 60 miles of each other. And so they will, it's $50 each person, so it's $500 a team. They have a captain that I rely on to do all the dirty work while I organize the tournament. They keep, like, the darters honest, get them to the board, everything, like just everything, collect the money. It's real hard work actually being a captain. I think Alex has been a captain before, and he can tell you what a pain in the ass it is sometimes. Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, it's better than me, like, having to host or being after like 100 guys for $50, you know? So I really appreciate it. Anyway, so 10-man teams, we come together. It depends on the amount of teams, but ideally we'd like to do a full round robin where all the teams play each other. If there's too many teams, then we split off into 2 pools. But the idea is all the teams play each other. Within the team versus team round robin match, there are 10 singles matches. So the singles matches consist of 5-on-1 cricket and 3-on-1 if needed. It's a race to 2. So once you win a match for your team, you get 1 point for your team. One team versus team match, there are 10 points available. So it makes for a pretty interesting day. So that's a round robin part. If we have 2 pools, then 2 teams from each pool, the top 2 teams from each pool, will advance to a semifinal. And that's a new thing we did last year, because this thing is always changing, because we are, always trying to make it challenging. And I think that's a point of contention sometimes, because people have a certain idea of what they want it to be. And I just always wanted it to be challenging and interesting to me. So I hope that's the same with everybody.
Yeah, that answers it great. Now, does the amount of talent in one room surprise you?
No. I mean, I would say between the time that I started this and what we have now, with the inclusion of Jeremiah Millar, Dan Burke has been playing out of his mind the last few years. I think that the more that the top players play each other for Michigan, the better our pool gets. And you can certainly see it with the averages. I mean, we were probably in the 60s at one time, but our top end is now like in the 80s and 90s. I mean, I watched a match with Jeremy Prevey the other week, and he was above like 80 for most of the match. And he was playing Dave DePriest, and Dave DePriest is a badass. He's not going to let anything go, and that was a great match. But my point is that I think that the top guys challenge each other because there are more opportunity to play each other in Michigan, because we have literally a tournament every weekend here, which and for an organizer, it makes it a pain in the ass, honestly. But for a darter, this is the best darts. Like, this is the best darts scene in the U.S., I believe. I mean, I'm a little bit biased, but I really believe that.
It's not just Michigan talent now either, Willie. Now you've included, you have an Ontario team. You opened it up to Ohio and Wisconsin, Indiana to throw teams together. So really, the talent level can be even more increased, because now it's multiple states, not just Michigan now.
Yeah, absolutely. We have not had much interest besides the Ontario team this year. but I don't know. I mean, there's 2 days left, so maybe there's somebody who's going to get in like last minute or something. But I'm capping it at 16 just because we don't have that many boards. I mean, we have grown past some of the capabilities that we have, and I just have to figure it out. But that's just what we have to do. It's how we have operated. We just promote the stuff first and then figure it out later, and I think that's been working out for us. But I mean, if the other states decide to join us, they will see the talent that's in Michigan. We have, I believe, some of the best darters around. Like I said, with the guys I mentioned earlier. But there's some guys that don't travel that are probably, I would put them against anybody in the U.S. I'm talking about, like, one person that comes to mind is Jeremy Prevey, who is a Michigan Dartsmens Club sponsored darter. So I'm going to give him a little love here. I think he's got the game to like make a difference. He just doesn't travel. He's a quintessential awesome darter who does not travel that you've never heard of. I think if he gets out, then people will know his name. So I hope that he will play some more tournaments as he is done with his school obligations.
Thanks, Willie. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll have you back here in just a little bit.
Willie.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
Team Sad Nasty.
Team Windsor, Canada.
The Mad Hatter.
Team Oxford.
Team Fenton.
Team West Side Connection.
The five-time defending champion Team Mid-Michigan.
The all-girl team, the Mean Girls.
Team Lansing.
Team Grand Rapids.
Alright, now we're going to get on to predictions. And after we learn the format and how long it's been going on, Alex, what are your top 4 predictions for City Wars this year?
All right, for my first prediction, I'm going with Team Oxford. They have Gerald Jeremiah Millar, John Finley, Maya Berger, Mike Self, PJ Kurt, Neil Quinnen, Scott Meeks, Tommy Dorflinger, and Rob Mason. And for my second team in the top 4, it's Mid-Michigan, the defending champs, with Eric Sturgeon, Steve Strand, Greg Strand, Robert Weiss, Dan Swaffer, Bryson Church, Trevor Fedua, Rob Torres, Daryl Left Eye, and Eric Hill. And for my third team I'm going with Team Grand Rapids. It would be Jason Wilbur, Jeremy Prevey, Dan Burke, Robert Ham, Jamie Bishop, Howard Martin, Corey Went, Tom Holmes, Chris Kiley, Rodney Raymer, hashtag Raymer Nation. And for my fourth team in the top 4, I'm going to go with the West Side Connection, which is Jake Johnson, a.k.a. State Farm, Josh Slom, Howard Hill, Paul Otto, Scott Sandberg, Chuck Lawrence, Josh Johnson, Tim Sheehan, Greg Fontaine, and Gary Clark.
Thanks, Alex. This City Wars pool is really deep, so picking a top 4 was not an easy task. This was really deep, really good pool. I feel like there's 6 or 7 teams that could really end up in the top 4. And as you see, 3 of my top 4 are the same as yours. there's just one difference that I have, that a team that I think is a wild card coming into this, and I think that they're going to do a really good job. I think they'll take top four. It's a team is the Mad Hatters. They're led by Griffin Nelson. You have Benson Smith, Sean Epson, Greg Lishes, Mike Merrick, Jay Tafini, Tony Chavez, Nicholas Carroll, Larry Cullen, and Scott Edwards. I think this is a really deep team, and I think they're going to do great in the City Wars this year. All right, now that we have our top four predictions out of the way, I say we switch to some players that we're excited to see ourselves, because we're going to be there live streaming the event. You know, we're going to do a live event straight from City Wars this year. First live event from City Wars. So, Alex, what are 5 players that you're excited to see this year live?
I'm looking to meet Oliver Jones from Canada, Greg Fontaine, Steve Strand, George Lang, and Con Schuling. Those are going to be my top 5 players to kind of watch and peek in on.
That's a great top 5. You know, I'm excited just like everybody, as from just the average player. But, you know, most of us are really excited to see like Jeremiah Millar and Dan Burke, Jeremy Prevey, Benson Smith. I'm looking forward to seeing Jalal Hermes too.
Yeah, he's a really good shot.
Yep. Okay, Willie, now that we've talked about City Wars and broke down the format and how much it's expanded through the years, what's your prediction this year as to who's going to win City Wars?
You know, what I've learned is there are constants in life. And one of those constants is Mid-Michigan will win City Wars. But, you know, every year I pick Team Grand Rapids, and that's what I'm going to do again, man. I love those guys. Those are my boys. I came up with those guys. You know, Dan, the free agent Burke, has joined another team, and so it only makes them stronger, you know. They've got Jeremy Prevey. They've got, you know, a bunch of other guys that I can't remember right now because I'm old. But, you know, you can't count out Mid-Michigan. They have the best solid team year after year. And it's not like there are better players on other teams. I mean, Daryl probably will disagree with me there. But there are better guys on teams. But I've always thought that your championship for City Wars lies between your middle players, right? So you have your top 2, you have your bottom 2. So that's 4 players. So there's 6 players in the middle. So if those 6 players can beat everybody else's middle 6 players, then you will win the championship, because that's most of your points. So the only reason I know this is because that's what Mid-Michigan is. They have defined the formula for success for City Wars, and you can't argue with that because they've never lost. So I don't know if anybody's middle 6 can beat Mid-Michigan's middle 6, then they will beat Mid-Michigan. I mean, obviously, but that's just easier said than done, because they've been there, they've had the pressure, and they've come through, man, every time.
Absolutely.
That's a great prediction.
If you were going to break down and say, like, you were going to have a top 4, who would your top 4 be?
Top 4, huh? Holy crap. I would say Grand Rapids, Mid-Michigan, obviously. Team Oxford, Jeremiah's team, and a 4th team. I would say the State Farm's team.
The West Side Connection, huh?
West Side Connection. Those guys are solid. Those guys are so good. A lot of those guys were on the leftovers last year, and they made it to the final. And they beat a really good Team Oxford that year. It was real exciting. It came down to the final doubles tiebreaker, and they got it done against Jeremiah and Jalal. So gotta give them all the credit. I mean, these teams shuffle around a lot. I mean, the only team that is consistent is Team Mid-Michigan, and they should be, because they have a winning formula.
Right. All right, Willie, we appreciate you joining us today. On behalf of Berserk Productions, me and Alex like to thank you a lot for the interview. It's been great. We've really enjoyed having you.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Good luck on your show. I think it's great what you guys are doing. Bryce and you guys are entertaining, knowledgeable. So you're just making Michigan darts better. So I salute you for that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Willie.
Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you.
And remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment on our video to stay up to date with our latest content. And as always, we'll see you at the Aki.